We're all looking at the same thing. Thank you for joining us for another perspective from the Sag Nasty If Anybody Asks Me podcast. Don't forget to hit that like button and leave a comment. For more videos, please subscribe to the channel.
Walk out the hallway. I look across the lunchroom at the boys. Basically, our ops, as little kids like to call it now. So I'm looking across the lunchroom. I see, oh boy, now, whole group of them motherfuckers jump up and take off out the other exit. So in my mind, I know what the fuck's up. You know what I mean? I'm like, oh wait, Billy is. Right?
Yeah.
You have to.
Yeah. So, oh, wow. Of course, the very important question then is the Riot.
Oh,
the
buddy.
Riot.
Yes, sir.
It's never really been covered the right way.
I know.
So
I know nobody knows there's
like
only
Mystique.
a few of us that know the truth.
I think I know the story, but I don't think people we got to put it out there so they know what's going on with the Riot.
Man,
let's get into
infamous, what was it? The 1996 riot?
Yeah, 96, 97, yeah. Something like that. 96, I think.
I kind of hinted around at it earlier, and I didn't really quite get into it, but it all started our last week or so of school in 8th grade at White Pine.
Okay. Oh, wow.
See, nobody knows this. Yeah.
Okay.
See, a lot of people don't understand this and know this. This is where it kind of truly stemmed from.
Yeah.
As weird as it sounds at the time, myself, Jason, and all us boys, our group is pretty much, if you kind of think about it this way, most of the blacks and Mexican dudes, and then you had a group of the white boys, right?
Yeah.
I'll say their names only because I love them boys to death. They like my brothers. I still go and kick it with them when I go back to Saginaw every damn time. But it was Steve Mosen and all them boys. They hadn't had their group too, right?
Yeah.
And I remember, if I think it was right, it was like the Ducky Boys or something like that.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? So imagine they had the Ducky Boys, we had DPG.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So imagine, if you want to call it a gang war, I guess that was our little gang war. You know what I mean?
Okay.
It was between whatever, right? We got into a little scuffle right towards the end of school. Pretty big one. Like Nick and Jason got the scrapping, fighting each other. We was all fighting and stuff. It kind of started there. So imagine we roll into the summer. What happens during the summer? We start football practice and all that other stuff.
Okay.
That shit hadn't stopped, bro.
Wow.
So see, a lot of people don't know this. Our freshman year, Bay City Central, them pieces of shit. Coach White had ran the hell out of us right before the game because, dude, we were fighting all at practice, all during the scrimmages, constantly fighting each other, constantly. So finally, he was sick of it. He wore us out before a game, didn't start half of us. And we ended up losing that game 56-6. And I'm sure if any Harris kids listening to this, they'll remember that shit. Got a brace beat off. We was freshmen, right?
Yeah.
After that day, things got cool, right? For the most part, but it still was kind of brewing.
Yeah.
Well, another group of boys, not gonna name that group of boys, but that was around that grunge era time too. You remember that? Remember that kind of era had kind of popped his face and stuff. So there was a group of those boys.
Okay.
They were the fighters, if you remember what I'm talking about.
Okay.
Yeah, you know exactly the group I'm talking about. So we were not cool with the dudes we played sports with.
That's what I was gonna say. Yeah.
But now it was a beef with us and them because those dudes were now starting to fight with them dudes, and that was starting to bleed in with us too a little bit. You see what I'm saying? So imagine now you got so now in a way you kind of had us athlete boys and some of our boys and kind of going against it with them.
Okay.
Long story short, Sean Peterson was walking home one day from school.
Yeah.
They rolled up on him, they jumped him.
Dang.
Well, yeah, this is a lot of people don't know this shit. They jumped him. Whatever happened, we found out. So it's on. It's basically fight on sight now. So imagine we get back to school, it's on. So the tension was there. You could see it. Everybody, we stood over on the rail. Motherfuckers was over in their spot. You know what I mean? People walk by, eyeing each other up and shit. It was getting bad. Comes lunchtime, right? You remember we used to hoop at lunchtime. You remember that?
Yeah.
The A and B lunch. Everybody be down there hooping for lunchtime, right?
Yeah.
So for some reason, I think it was a gym class in the big gym that day. Okay. So instead, Billy, Maxie, and Jason, instead of them going down to the big gym, they was like, hey, we're finna go back to the small gym to hoop. So we in the lunchroom, right? So them two, me and T sitting there, and I remember this. We're sitting there with Kim Acker, Ann Hansen and all them girls.
Kim Anger,
I know her last name, Shefflo. I can't remember her first name. She gonna be mad as hell.
Yeah, I remember Shefflo too. Yeah.
But like them girls, you see what I'm saying? Like imagine, like we kind of sitting at the table with them. So Bird and Billy now give us some dap. Pow, pow. Y'all coming down? Yeah, we'll be down there in a minute. They walk out of the lunchroom. You remember the main center lunchroom?
Yeah,
so they walk out of the center one. You can go right, and you had the 2 entrances going back towards the main hallway, right? So they take off and walk. Well, as they walk out the hallway, I look across the lunchroom at the boys. Basically, our ops, as little kids like to call it now. So I'm looking across the lunchroom. I see, oh boy, now whole group of them motherfuckers jump up and take off out the other exit. So in my mind, I know what the fuck's up. You know what I mean? I'm like, oh wait, Billy and Bird just went back there. Like they finna try to catch them motherfuckers, right? So I see that, and of course I tap a couple folks. Hey, fool, like get up. You know what I mean? Like we got to go. We about to go box. So we go. I just take off running, not realizing everybody's in the damn lunchroom watching. Right? Had no idea that this was going on. So imagine, like, I take off running down the hallway. I get in the main hallway, look by the office desk. I don't see them. Run downstairs real quick. Bird and them ain't down there. Because imagine I run downstairs. I'm like, oh shit, they ain't down there. So I run back up the stairs real quick. And I go hauling ass back to that small gym. You remember how you can come back into the small gym in the 2 different directions?
Yeah.
At the time, they redid it when y'all was there, I think. But
no, they had to,
Yeah, so I come pouring in, I think from like that backside over there from like where the school store, like, ran past school store, the 80 office and shit. Right, so I go dip down that way. Pow!
Yeah.
Soon as I get around the corner in the back, there's Mr. Pugh, there's Jason, there's Billy on this side, like in front of me, Mr. Pugh in the middle, Mr. Graham, like the little school store teacher or whatever, dude. And it's like 8 or 9 of them motherfuckers on the other side of them, and they all squaring up. And so imagine now I come up, so now it's me, Billy, Jason.
Okay.
T comes up flying behind me, and now it's like about 4 of us, like 5 or 6 or 7 of them. Yeah. So we all kind of like squaring up, talking shit. Mr. Pugh like, hey boys, just chill out, blah blah. We not realizing that half of the damn lunchroom is on our ass, like following us, right? Because they knew somebody fighting. They just had to go fight. Right. So all of a sudden, man, the hallway behind me fills up, and I imagine I'm looking down the hall. You just see the hall just fill up with kids, dude.
That's so a now very thin hallway, though.
Yeah, very thin ass hallway with all the kids, and the only 2 people that's in between us is Mr. Pugh and Mr. Graham. And you
got people pushing from in the back. Yeah.
Well, dude, you got Mr. Pugh big ass, but then Mr. Graham was about like 4 foot nothing, damn near. You know what I mean? So it's like imagine like. Nobody ain't gonna rush Mr. Pugh. Nah, you ain't doing that shit. You know what I mean? Okay. Like just you would have got your ass beat just to hit Mr. Pugh. You know what I mean? It's like so. Imagine we all kind of like stand there out of respect for Mr. Pugh. Like, hey man, like tell them motherfuckers to back the fuck up, or else we gonna get down.
Yeah.
Everything was kind of cool. He kind of breaks it up, man. I can't remember exactly who was behind us, but it was some of the sister girls. You see what I'm saying? Like. They back behind us. I don't remember exactly who at the time, but
Brittany, maybe.
One of them was somebody yelled or said something, and all of a sudden you hear from the other side of the crowd, "Shut up, you black bitch!" Oh man, that was the worst thing you could have possibly ever said at that given time, right? So when that happened, it was kind of like, oh shit, like really, like okay, cool. Everybody pours back out the other way now. You see what I'm saying? Because now it's like, okay, we ain't gonna fight right here, Mr. Pugh. Let's go around in the hallway then. Now we're gonna get it. So as we get back around in the hallway, once again, we kind of come face to face with each other again, but nobody's really fighting or doing nothing. We just kind of like standing there, kind of posturing a little bit, right? In come walk my boy E. Harris. Harris come. If anybody that was there, if they try to tell me otherwise, they're fucking lie because they wasn't in the middle of that shit.
Yeah.
He comes strolling up. Mind you, he coming from COC. He has no idea what the fuck's going on. You see what I'm saying? So imagine he just parked his car in the parking lot. He walking up. When E walk in the door, a couple of us greet him. Hey, what's up, E? E looking around like, man, what the fuck going on? Like, man, these motherfuckers trying to fight. You see what I'm saying? So imagine we filling E in so he don't get rushed. Like, hey, bro, these motherfuckers trying to get down.
Yeah.
He was kind of like, all right, man, fuck these motherfuckers. They ain't gonna do shit, right?
Yeah.
And they wasn't. Nobody was punching or doing nothing. Then some words got exchanged between somebody, man. And then next thing I know, I just remember seeing one of the Boswick brothers get smacked. Pow! You see what I'm saying? And the fight was fucking on. Soon as that happened, it was just like, just chaos everywhere, man. And that shit was moving. It was like an amoeba just moving around them circles and shit. That's how the story unfolded. It ended up in front of the office. Just so happened, it was in service that day, so all the teachers was gone out. We had a bunch of subs, and
Oh
I
wow.
remember what was her name? Was it Mrs. Mathis? Was the office
know.
lady? I think so. But
someone else,
she, man, that poor lady. Imagine seeing thousands of kids scrapping in front of you, bro.
Yeah.
What you gonna do? You know what I mean? Like, seriously, like she got on the thing, called the cops, and so when the cops got there, everything kind of died down. Like we was boxing and shit, like, but it was like the little onesies here and there. Nah, like they wasn't there right away, and it was kind of like the still onesies going, but like nobody, it wasn't the big major brawl going.
Okay.
Well, everybody now, the bell rings. Here comes the majority of the rest of the students from second lunch or whatever, right?
Okay. So
right. So this is like I said, this is where a lot of people picked up in the story,
like the whole
news
school
and everything else.
Yeah.
Right. So now this is where the mix of the other kids come in, but at the same time, everybody's kind of going back to class because Mr. Pugh and them had kind of got it under control. Them and some of the subs, hey kids, go back to class, get up out of here. Come on, man. Y'all know better than that. Get out of here. So as everybody's moving, kind of migrating their way back, you know, Chris, man, still kind of hyped up in the hallways doing their shit. 2 cops walk in. Officer Luth, and I forget what the other little dude's name was, right? We standing there, Officer Luth and I'm talking to a few kids that knew him, blah, blah. Next thing I know, you see Tamara and Brittany come walking by. Man, them girls, they, like I said, they was in class. They ain't had nothing to do with that shit.
So they weren't even the one that was like the black bitch or nothing like that. Oh,
no, like, because I forget, it was some of the other sister girls that was with us at that lunch. You see what I'm saying? That's what here's where the story got like real. That's where the news came and all that other shit. Because imagine them poor girls rolling their way to class. They kind of looking at us like I think they stopped for a quick sec to kind of like look and be like, hey, what the fuck going on? Like, what y'all doing? You know what I mean? Kind of like, the hell y'all doing? Hey man, these motherfuckers trying to fight, blah blah. They kept it moving. You see what I'm saying? They literally kind of said they start strolling. For some reason, that officer thought they was causing trouble or doing some shit. He just grabs them both and starts slinging them around. Because of course he grabbed them. They looking at him like, man, what the fuck? And of course they kind of tense up and jerk. He started yanking them around, man, and that's when the shit started. He started yanking them, and man, next thing I know, we rushed this motherfucker. You know, it's like it was just because it was just like imagine like it was almost like seeing it in the movies. It was like, damn, bro, like them girls didn't do shit. Like you just grabbed them because they 2 black faces walked in front of you and you just grabbed them. Like it was just like they walked in front and he just grabbed both of them by the wrist. And Brittany and Tamara, man, they ain't like big, tall, 6'6" chicks.
Like I was wondering too. Yeah,
smaller girls, man, and like for him to grab them like that, because
Brittany can fight
messed up. Yeah, they can't scrap, but I think he messed up one of their wrists. It was either Tamara's wrist or Brittany's.
Brittany got hurt. Yeah.
Right, because dude, like when he slung her around, like our reaction to it was kind of like, oh, what the fuck? Like, why would he throw Brittany? Like, you know what I mean? It's like, man, bro, you just threw her like that. Ooh, got his ass. You see what I'm saying? Because it was like, hey, bro, like I don't give a fuck about you being a cop at this point in time. That's fucked up.
Yeah,
you see what I'm saying? Like, because it was just like, nah, bro, like this, you ain't gonna do this shit in front of us. But what was cool about that situation, it wasn't cool. I should take that word back. But it wasn't just black kids on him. It was white kids, Mexican kids, everybody got him. You see what I'm saying? Everybody that was there that witnessed and seen that was wrong stepped in to make sure he stopped. You see what I'm saying? And it's like, yeah, he still he hung on to. I think he was hanging on to Brittany. Is how she ended up really getting hurt because while he was getting worked out. Yeah. While he was getting worked out, he held on to her arm, her wrist or whatever. So fast forward, he finally kind of gets up. The other cop gets snatched up, and it's on now. Now more cops started to show up in the same thing. Hold